Namaste students, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVN's Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. So students, today we are going to discuss the topic cell disruption, the chemical and physical methods. So the chemical and the enzymatic methods. So in the previous lectures, we have discussed the mechanical methods. Okay, and in the mechanical methods you have learned about the bead mill method, ultrasound method, French press, and high pressure homogenizer. And in the physical method you have studied about the thermolysis, decompression, and the osmotic shock method. So next, the chemical and enzymatic methods. So the methods of the cell disruption where you have used few chemicals or some biological chemicals like the enzymes. So in addition to the physical and mechanical methods, so others methods are also available, and these methods rely the utilization on the chemical substances or the enzymes in the disruption process. So the mechanism of action are multiple, but the most widely used methods act by destroying the cell wall by enzymes, osmotic pressure, or by interfering or precipitating cell wall proteins. Okay, so according to the which chemical you are using or which enzyme you are using, the mechanism is slightly different. But in the most of the cases, the enzymes or the chemicals destroys the cell wall uh, cell wall proteins, cell wall enzymes. Okay, and they make it porous. So in addition, several disruption methods can be combined to achieve desired efficiency. The alternative strategies are reviewed in more detail below. So generally, the chemical and enzymatic methods are used in the combination of the other cell disruption methods for increasing the efficiency. Okay, so first are the detergents. So what detergents do, they directly damage the cell wall or membrane, and this will lead to release of the intracellular content. So in the detergents such as the SDS, that is the sodium dodecyl sulfate, it is an anionic detergent, and it what it does that it recognizes the cell membrane by disrupting protein-protein interaction. Okay, so uh, its main function is to disrupt the protein-protein interaction in the cell wall. So detergents for cell lysis and protein extraction. So another commonly used compound for the cell lysis is the Triton X100. So it is again a different detergent than the SDS, and it is a non-ionic detergent, and its mechanism is slightly different. It act on and it solubilize the membrane proteins. Okay, so the membranes which are present on the sorry, the proteins which are present on the membrane are solubilized, are dissolved by the Triton X100, and the result will be the porosity is created in the cell. So in addition to these chemical compounds, for example, the cationic detergents are also there. The triethyl ammonium bromide can also be used for the cell disruption. So it is speculated that it acts on a cell membrane, lipopolysaccharides, and the phospholipids. So like the SDS and the Triton X100, other detergents also available, and one example is the ethyl trimethyl ammonium bromide, and it acts on the lipopolysaccharide and the phospholipids which are present in the cell membrane. So other than the detergents, some solvents also be used. For example, the alcohols, DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide, methyl ethyl ketone, and the toluene. So what the solvents do, these solvents extract cell walls lipid components, which leads to release of intracellular components. So generally solvents are used to dissolve something. So if the plasma membrane or cell wall have some protein, suppose, and you dip the cells in the solvents will dissolve the lipids, and after dissolution the cell wall or cell membrane will be porous or disrupted. So this method can be used with wide range of production organisms, but the problem can be that some proteins are denatured. However, the advantage is that by the choice of solvent, it might be possible to select the released product. Okay, so this method is not generally applied in large scale, but it is used in the laboratory or the research purposes. So next is enzyme. Enzymes, different types of enzymes are used, and strains are have different kind of cell wall and membranes, and thus the used enzyme depends on the microbe. So what is the criteria for selecting a specific enzyme for the cell lysis? So as I have told that there are various types of microbes, and according to different microscope they have different composition in their cell wall and the cell membranes. Okay, so we use specific enzymes which are used to dissolve specific protein and the specific lipids which are present at high amount in a specific cell or a specific microbe. Okay, for example, say if E. coli bacteria have some specific lipid A, then we use the enzymes which will dissolve specifically the enzyme or protein A. Okay. For example, lysozyme is commonly used enzyme to digest cell wall of gram-positive bacteria, and lysozyme hydrolyzes the beta-1,4 glycosidic bond, okay, in the peptidoglycan chain. The cell wall of gram-negative bacteria different from the cell wall of the gram-positive bacteria. So the lysozymes is not very efficient in that case, in the gram-negative cell wall. So choice depends on the type of the bacteria. So thank you. Hope you are satisfied with this detailed session. And if you have any query, please write in the comment box. I will resolve your query. This session is powered by Digital Version 2, Jyoti Vidya Peeth Women's University, Jaipur. Thank you.